Hey Sports Desk fans, welcome to this edition. We're at the North and South Wrestling Meet, and we're going to dive into wrestling. We're going to try and figure out a little bit more about the sport that is hot in the city of Torrance. But first, we've got a lot more coming your way. Let's go ahead and check it out. Pioneer League play has just begun, and so has the race for the playoffs. Who will get there first, the Torrance Tartars or the South Spartans? And it's a rivalry like no other, as the Knights boys basketball team hosts Sarah to a Delray League duel. And there's a team who's not making it easy for the Lady Spartans to defend their Pioneer League soccer title. If you want to check out the scores and hear the stats, get fired up, because the Sports Desk starts right now. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Bonnie Prickitt, and we are out at the North and South Wrestling Meet. So much to learn about the sport that really started the UFC and WWF. We'll talk to a few wrestlers who will let you in on their opinions on whether or not WWF is a real sport or not. But before we go to the mats, let's go ahead and go to the hardwood. Torrance and South, well, they're both vying for top spot or second in the Pioneer League. They had pretty decent preseasons. Let's now go ahead and see how Karen Bright breaks it down.
Fans packed the gym as the South Spartans hosted the Torrance Tartars in an intense Pioneer League opener. The Spartans 9-7 and the Tartars 7-8 coming into this game, tied in last year's league standing, so as the teams tipped off, it was game on. Torrance takes control from the start, streaking down the court with good ball movement, but can't get the job done. South seemed a little slow off the whistle, but it was just a part of their game plan.
We wanted to start it off with our defense because offense can come to us. We just got to start it off on defense, and it'll go to offense really fast.
The Spartan offense came out, but they couldn't put numbers on the board either. In fact, neither team could hit the field goal until late in the first. A South turnover opens the door for a Torrance two-pointer, the first bucket of the game that would spark a scoring rampage. South answers with a big three from Jake Lai. Torrance fires back with two. Neither team misses, scoring 17 combined points in the last minute 40 of the first. The quarter ends with Torrance on top, 13-11. In the second, the Tartars heat things up with smooth transitions and offensive chemistry. South battles back with a scrappy defense, and Kenichi Hackman makes it personal with a huge three at the buzzer. South can't close the gap. They're down 24-20 at half. Mid-third quarter, Spartans still trailing, call back-to-back timeouts and find an offensive rhythm.
I recognize at times what the other team's going to do. We scouted them. One of the timeouts was on inbounds play, so we ran something. We were able to get the steal. We stayed patient because if you're what I call drunk with emotion, you don't execute well.
South turns the steal into 2 points and momentum for the rest of the quarter. Jabron Sawani at the line hits two in a row, tying the game at 30. Jake Lai follows off a steal, drives the lane, and takes a foul. He sinks two of his own for the Spartans' first lead of the game. Amar Kukrija sails one in for two more on the Spartans scoreboard, and at the end of the third, South's up 38-36. Last quarter of play, the Spartans, still with the momentum, look like they're pulling away with the game. But the Tartars haven't left the hardwood. Less than a minute left to play, Tartars are down 51-49. They bank one in, and we're headed for OT. In overtime, the Spartans D-up and hold the Tartars scoreless to win their first league game of the season. A proud coach Clem couldn't point to just one standout player.
Everybody that played, and everybody did play, and I feel everybody contributed attitudinally from the time we warmed up.
Kenichi Hackman says the game went just as planned.
We were planning Like, we were planning to win every quarter. We were planning to start with defense because the offense, even if it's not there, our defense should be there the whole game. We were expecting to play good D, which we did, and we were expecting to pull it out in the end, and we did.
In the Pioneer League opener, the South Spartans topped the Torrance Tartars 57-51. In a hard-fought game that went into overtime, both teams show a lot of improvement and a lot of promise for the rest of the season. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Karen Bright.
Thanks out to Karen Bright for that exciting breakdown. South beats Torrance 57-51, and overtime leaders. First name only, please. Jake, Amar, and Jabron, congratulations on your win. And Brett Akahiji of Torrance scored 15 points for the Tartars. They continue their league play this week. Coming up after the break, check out the moves of the B-Money Knights as they take on the Sarah Cavaliers in a Delray League matchup.
I'm a big believer in the power of we. We can tackle the tough challenges we face and build community through service and volunteering. It's time for you to raise your hand. Go to serve.gov and get involved in something you believe in. How will you raise your hand when they call your name? Are you with me? We weren't born to follow.
And now I'm with former North wrestler Matthew Hassan, and you are currently one of the assistant coaches. What is the most fun part of coming back to your program?
I like mostly, since I just graduated with a lot of the kids on there, I get to come back and actually focus more on them instead of just myself, my own season. And I get the opportunity to meet the new freshmen and help them out with things that I know, like the problems that will come along during the years. Since I'm fresh out, I have that experience right now. So
for the kids that are in junior high now or elementary school, and they are undersized, now they can come to wrestling and they can be 100 pounds and they can be the stud on campus, right? I mean, talk to me about that.
Most people, when they think wrestling, they think, oh, you got to be big, you got to be strong. But in this sport, we match you up against someone who will be your size, your level. So it's pretty much even in that sense. And yeah, you can be the big man on campus at 100 pounds, you know? So that's what's kind of great about it.
And I know wrestling's a really hard sport from the technical point of view, from the conditioning point of view. There's another sport that they condition quite a bit, and they probably don't wear 4 layers of clothes to shed pounds, basketball. Who's your favorite NBA team?
I'd probably have to say the Lakers.
Why? Why not the Clippers? They're hot right now.
Well, yeah, but a lot of my family, they're big Laker fans. My grandpa, he's always on the Lakers. Go to his house, he has pictures everywhere, autographed balls. So I grew up with him a lot, like hang out with him a lot, so he kind of got into my head, Lakers.
That's good. There are probably a few Lakers, future Lakers that is, or Clippers or any NBA team right here in the city of Torrance. They are on the Bishop Montgomery Knights squad. They are hot this season, and they played one of their rivals. Sarah, new Sports Desk reporter John Ramey brings just some of the best highlights you'll see this season.
Bishop Montgomery opening Del Rey League play at home. Sarah of Gardena, the visitor. Let's go out to the first quarter. Tyler Harvey was hot in the first half. The bomb here, the dime here. Harvey had 12 points all in the first half for Bishop Montgomery. Check out Leon Jacobs' circus shot here, and things were looking good for the Knights. And after one quarter, they led 19-18. Sarah battled back in the second quarter. Marquise Lee had a huge game. He finished with 19 points, leading the break here, and once again here setting up Ronnie Stevens for a huge jam.
Well, if they were scoring on style points, it might be the Knights with a big halftime lead. But on the scoreboard, it's Sarah leading by 2 and a high-flying first stanza.
The second half was a golden one for the Knights' Lamont Murray. He caught fire from long range, and he finished with 12 points. And then there was this. Knights fans may want to look away from the majesty and the power of Keyshawn Mack climbing over a Knight to put it home. That tied the game at 42. It was deadlocked headed to the fourth quarter. Problems then for Bishop Montgomery. Turnovers and missed free throws. In the end, Sarah outlasted Bishop Montgomery 62-58. The Knights are 9-7.
I don't overanalyze. I just try to get them better. And you know, we had a stretch. I thought we had a little working margin, and they got 2 straight that led to dunks. And I thought that was kind of turning the game around a little bit. And then obviously going 13 for 24 at the foul line doesn't help either.
An early league season home loss for the Knights, and that could raise some eyebrows in the Del Rey League. But there is a lot of basketball left in the season. For the Sports Desk, this is John Ramey.
Thanks out to John Golden Voice Ramey for that breakdown. Although the Knights lost 62-58, they still have plenty of league left to play, and you can say that they rebounded with the win over Cathedral 69-34. Leon Jacobs led the Knights in their win over Cathedral. Let's take a look at a few more scores around the city. North broke Centennial's 18-game win streak with a win 71-62. Chris Garcia led the team in scoring with 24 points. And Elliot Morse had another double-double. They both had a great game again in another win, 76-46 over the South Spartans. North is now 2-0 in league, and South's loss to North bring them to a 1-1 record. And Torrance had a big win over Lawndale with Jimmy Carley 10 points and 8 boards, 49-37 over Lawndale. And in the Bay League, West lost a heartbreaker to Palos Verdes 56-54. They had an early lead, but even with Rashard Cobb's 19 points and Kieran O'Shaughnessy's 13, they couldn't pull out the win. Let's now move it over to the girls. There's another Torrance basketball team that ended another city's winning streak. Congratulations to the Bishop Montgomery Knights for knocking off Sarah 56-50. They are now 14-5 overall and 1-1 in league. And the Lady Saxons pull a 12-5 overall record and 1-1 in league with Jocelyn Barnes heating it up over the South Spartans 45-33. She had 13 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 steals. And I cannot wait for her to be highlighted here on the Sports Desk. And the Torrance Tartars pull out a huge win over Lawndale, 52-26. Jana Tomita had 11 points for the Lady Tartars. And in the Bay League, it was a heartbreaking loss. The Lady Warriors dominated the first half, and Kelsey Ishigo scored 12 points and had 9 rebounds, but they just couldn't get past Palos Verdes. But this talented team has lots of promise, and there's still plenty of time to move up in Bay League play. Coming up later in the show, you don't want to miss the head games that are happening over at Zamperini Stadium. Stick around.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Look, honey, the neighbors just bought a big screen TV.
Hey, I just got a bonus at work. Maybe we should get one too.
Hold on there.
Savings Man.
Using your bonus to secure your future by paying down debt or saving is a better way to go.
Well, I declare you're right, Savings Man.
Stay ahead by choosing to save, and don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses.
But their name is Johnson.
For more tips and tools, visit choosetosave.org today.
And as promised, I have a wrestling expert, a.k.a. Coach, Dylan Garrett. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Dylan, a lot of people, they can watch football and basketball, even soccer, and know what's going on the screen. You might be able to figure out what's going on in a wrestling match if you've wrestled before. Yeah. And I know a lot of people that think wrestling, they think WWF. What is it really?
It's just a sport. It's one against another. It's one winner, one loser. It's going to be your will against somebody else's will. So it's basically how you can break your opponent. You have to know. You have to understand positions. You have to understand another guy's strength against your strength. It's a long process, and it's a lot of hard work to go into one single match.
Talk to me about the difference between WWF and wrestling, be it prep, high school, Olympic level.
Again, that WWF stuff is fake. They go over it in the back. They review it. Here, it's just you're going against that one opponent, and he's gonna try to hurt you. So you have to play your defense, and you have to have the offense at the same time. And it's easy to get lost in a crowd or cameras and stuff like that. So it's tough. It's a tough sport on a young 14-year or 15-year-old kid. So
when we're watching something, what should we be, as a viewer who is an avid sports fan, what are we watching for when we're watching wrestling?
You're looking for quickness and speed and able to take someone down with your strength. It's not an easy thing to do, and I know they make it look easy, like you could flip somebody around, but it takes a lot of work.
There's something about technique gets you so far, and obviously physical conditioning, and then what was the third step in that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Heart. It's heart. First period, quickest guy wins. Second period, strength wins. Third period is heart. It's when you're at that point of breaking, to go inside your brain and say, I'm gonna go to the next step to beat this guy. It's the toughest thing. It's adversity that these kids face, and it's a great thing to learn at a young age.
So obviously prep wrestling, and then you have college, and then you have the Olympic level. And the city of Torrance and North and West, they've been having club for the last couple of years, and it's not really been something you can play or do as a youngster.
Yeah.
But the city of Torrance is really kind of a hotbed for the exciting growth of the sport. At the prep level, how does the heart and the conditioning and the technique all play together?
At a young level, we just teach them the basics, and we just teach them how to have fun. It's also a sport to have fun with. It's viewed as a gruesome sport, or like lifting and slamming people on the ground. We like to teach them at a young age how to have fun, and that's basically it. They'll pick the technique and the strength and all that stuff up later. Right at that age, at a younger age, it's just have fun. Even at the freshman level, it's having fun.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's happening at this moment?
Right now, the North kid, Gunnar Injun, he is on top right now, about to sink in a half. Now he rolled over, the South kid rolled over. Right now he's just keeping his pressure on top, grabbing wrists, driving forward, because it's a lot to have somebody on top of you, and to try to build up to your knees and to your feet. It takes a lot of energy. So right now we're just now he's.
What would you coach him to do at this moment?
So right now, now they went out of bounds. So here they're gonna reset, and the South kid's gonna be on bottom. So he's gonna try to just a basic stand up.
Okay.
Now our guy's gonna go to he's gonna either go to a wrist or an ankle to stop that stand up.
Okay, but his hands, when they start, who's decided who gets on top and bottom?
Wait, it's the point of when they go out of bounds, the control. So we were on top. See that he crashed the arm forward.
Okay.
So now all his weight's forward again, and now he's looking for either a tilt, grabbing that wrist and looking to turn him to his back to expose his back to get back points. There it goes, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3 points right there.
Okay, because he did it for 5 seconds,
Yes.
right? That last one was 3 points for 5 seconds. What's going on now?
Now they're just on their feet, banging inside, trying to get control, moving your opponent around. See how he's pulling on his head?
Yes.
That's just moving his weight. Now he just put all his weight to his back. He hit a cow catcher.
Now, if he gets both shoulders down?
Yeah, and that's why he's lifting his head. Lifting your head puts those shoulders back on the mat.
Okay, so your North guy is trying to pin the South guy,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yeah, he has.
How many seconds down on each shoulder?
It necessarily doesn't matter. If he's flat, he'll go.
For how many? It doesn't matter how long?
If they're both on the mat, the ref will call a pin. It always depends on the ref.
Okay, now he's just rolled over. Did he basically say, I give up?
No, he actually fought off his back, which was really good. That was a tough thing for the South kid to do. But what happened is that we got more near fall as we turned him, so we teched him. So it was a 15-point spread, 15-0. So we win.
So we still have the 145 JV level going on behind us, and South is up by 4 points, and I believe in the third period. Can you go ahead and we'll take a look at it, and you can wrap it up for us.
Okay, so right now he's escaping because we started on bottom. We're gonna get a point here if he can get lost in control.
So what exactly is going through his mind? Oh my goodness, I got to get this guy out, or is he thinking technical thing?
Oh my gosh, I have to finish this. I have to put him to his back because you're losing by 4. So
that
now
looks really painful.
Yeah, he has a cradle locked up right now, over the head and through the legs.
Oh my gosh. So how do you get out of that?
what the South kid just did. Grab the wrist, pull it over your head, and wrestle from there.
Okay, so at that point right then, who's ahead?
Right now, we are on top. We are in control.
So is it basically whoever's on top is in control?
Yes, basically. If you go out of bounds and you're on top, then you come back in on top.
Let's go ahead and go to the pitch. We told you last week about how the North Saxons won over Beverly Hills. Well, this week we are going to feature the Lady Spartans and the Lady Tartars, and both teams are pretty good. Karen Bright was out at Zamperini Stadium, and she fills you in.
We're here at Louis Zamperini Stadium for the Pioneer League opener between Torrance and South in girls soccer. The Spartans come in unbeaten in their last 8 with 5 wins and 3 ties. The Tartars trying to knock off the favorite here in the Pioneer League. These teams will play again in a couple weeks, but Torrance looking to get this opener here at home. To the aforementioned Zamperini Stadium we go, which has undergone its fall-winter makeover from football gridiron to soccer pitch. It doesn't take long. 6th minute, first half. Ashley Whitlock off the throw-in from Dominique Mendoza goes low to the right corner, and it's 1-0 Torrance. Group hugs all around for the ladies in maroon, and new head coach Jim Millinger has to be feeling good about his Tartars' chances. We go to the 18th minute. Torrance on the attack. We'll let Tartars senior Cortland Cerrito take you through this one.
We had Dominique Mendoza, which was the best throw-in in the world, and she threw it, which brought Allison a knockdown, and she crossed it over, and I was in the back post wide open, and I put it in the back of the goal.
Cerrito with the tally in the 18th minute of the first half off the setup from freshman Allison Ariola. This makes it 2-0 Tartars. From there, the Torrance lead was placed in the capable gloved hands of the Tartars senior goalkeeper, Emily Pryor. Here she makes the save against South's Jessica Nikkei to preserve the 2-0 lead. Pryor also shared some thoughts with us after the conclusion of the game.
They did have a lot of traffic in the box, and that's why I really needed my defenders to step up, and I was constantly not always looking at the ball but looking towards my defenders. You step here, you slide here, and just really communication was our key.
That defensive communication allowed both Pryor and the Tartars to end South's 8-game unbeaten streak 2-0 in an early statement win by Coach Jim Millinger and his side.
We jumped on them early, and we created a couple good chances off of some restarts and, converted them. And we held on pretty hard there at the end, but, they're a good side, South. They got a lot of good players, and I'm sure when we go back over to their place, it'll be another battle. But, just proud of the kids because they played so hard tonight.
Millinger, with a college coaching background at USC, seems to be getting his message across to the Tartar players.
Jim is such an amazing coach, and we have so much potential because he's been so good to us this year, and he's taught us so much.
South had come in on an 8-game unbeaten streak with 5 wins and 3 ties. Goalkeeper Emily Pryor records the shutout for Torrance. These two teams will meet later this season over at South, but for now it's Torrance with the upper hand in the Pioneer League. Reporting for the Sports Desk, Ghazal Hassan.
Thanks out to Ghazal Hassan for that report. The Lady Tartars topped the Lady Spartans 2-0. And it was all with the help with the arms of Dominique Mendoza. Great throw-ins that Ashley Whitlock and Cortland Cerrito scored in the first half for the win. But a big goalkeeper award goes to Emily Pryor with 5 saves. Looks like it's only going to get better for the Pioneer League race. South is now 1-1, and Torrance is 1-0 in league. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other scores. South went ahead and topped North 2-0 with the help of Haley Stewart and Erica Moran, who both scored for the Lady Spartans. And we must note Paige Brandt is a freshman goalie for the Lady Spartans. That's another goalkeeper to take a look at this season. And the Lady Knights fell to Delray League rival LaSalle by 2 goals. Let's now take a look at the boys' prep soccer scores. And Stephen Copley and Alex Hernandez of the Tartars helped their team to a draw with Lawndale. And Sean Nagano passed to Jesus Perez for a goal for the Saxons to top the Spartans 1-0. Let's now jump over to the Bay League, where
West couldn't keep up with a very good Palos Verdes team, losing 3-0. And the Knights are 0-2 on the Delray League season after a 2-1 loss to La Salle.
Let's now go ahead and go to what we've been talking about all show long, wrestling. We're here at the North and South varsity level now. You've seen video of the freshmen and the JV squad. But man, this is where it all happens. This is where you need technique, where you need conditioning, and above all, as Don Gable said, you need heart. Let's go ahead and take a look into the 119s.
North would start strong over Torrance, scoring 25 points in the first 5 matches, like this one at 119. Jordan Gorola wrestles Ryan Uratsu, winning with the score of 13-2. South would be down, but not for long. Spartan Spencer Buckley wrestling Saxon Steve Holloman in 135 weight class. Buckley is up by 4 points, but he has another plan. I'm not winning on points. I'm gonna pin him. And he gets the first points on the board for South. 6, you got him right there. But the Spartans aren't stopping there. And we go to the 140s now, where Ryan Holm of South is wrestling versus Neil Ramon of North. And Ryan looks to give Ramon the advantage, but check this move out. He's gonna get him back on his back. Can he pin him? Ramon's giving him a good fight, but Holm is remembering it's not just technique, it is heart, and he wants it more. And we gotta hear it, crowd. The Spartans would continue to dominate. North would win a few more matches, but let's see how it all shakes out. And congratulations out to the South Spartans, who won over the North Saxons 39-35. Let's take a look at the individuals. Brandon E. pinned his opponent. And in the 112 weight class, no surprise there, Johnson Mai pinned Paul Song. And at 119, Jordan Gorola won over major victory over his opponent. And at 125, Masato Fukushima pinned his opponent in less than 3 minutes. And at 130, Rudy Delgado defeated Oliviato with a score of 5-3. And at 135, Spencer Buckley pinned his opponent in less than 3 minutes. And at 140, you got Ryan Holm, who pinned his opponent in about 5 minutes, 50 seconds. And at 145, Tyler McLean defeated his opponent from South. And at 152, Kenny Song won with a pin in about 5 minutes, 50 seconds. And Jerry Rockland pinned his opponent, De Los Rios, in about 1 minute, 19 seconds. And at 171, Tyler Haraldson had a major victory with a 16-8 decision. And at 189, Mike Leon pinned Matt Gatewood. And at 215, Mark Montalero pinned Luis Yepes. And finally, one of the captains of the South Torrance wrestling team, Charlie Wood, pinned Java Magasalang in 5 minutes and 28 seconds. Congratulations. North Torrance is 0-1 in league, but it's still early, and South Torrance now stands at 2-0 in league. It's now the time of the show to let us know something we don't. Give us a phone call at 310-618-5762, or you can always email us at thesportsdesk@torranceca.gov. At torranceca.gov, you can take a look at all of the shows from this year and years past, and we have a lot of the shows from 2010 on YouTube.
Folks, that's all the time we have for you today. I hope you learned a little bit more about wrestling and can learn to love it as much as the folks here in this gym. So until next time, Torrance, have a good time.